Today, I'm going to be sharing the top 5 scariest movies in my collection. The ones that really creeped me out and stuck with me long after the credits rolled. Hey guys, welcome back to Real Reserve, where I talk about all things related to movies and physical media. If you're looking for horror movies that are going to keep you up at night, I think you've come to the right place. Let me know down in the comments, what's the scariest movie that you have in your collection? I'm always on the hunt to add new movies to my list. And before we get started, a brief disclaimer. 2 things. 1, this list is only going to include movies that I own physically, and it's not going to be the top 5 scariest films that I've ever seen. 2, I'm not going to be including any exploitation films in this list, such as Serbian film, Cannibal Holocaust, or August Underground. With all of that nonsense out of the way, let's get started. In the number 5 spot in the list of the scariest horror films in my collection, we've got The Thing from John Carpenter in 1982. This film follows 12 researchers in Antarctica that discover a 100,000-year-old alien. The movie quickly devolves into a battle of who has become the monster now. This is a movie that I saw for the first time 2 years ago. I see this on a lot of people's list. It often comes up as their number 1 horror film of all time. The 2 key elements that put this movie on the top 5 list of the scariest films in my collection are the special effects and the concept overall. Like I mentioned in my last video, this is another film that takes you back to a time of practical effects that really help to contribute to that overall gross out factor. In addition to the special effects, I think the overall concept here is scary in and of itself. So you've got 12 guys who are in a research lab in Antarctica. A stray dog comes out of nowhere in the beginning of the film, with another set of researchers chasing that dog and trying to kill it. From there, odd things start to happen and the monster is quickly revealed. In my opinion, some of the scariest scenes in this movie are the transformation scenes where the monster is being revealed. Something about the tentacles and the grotesque figures really freaks me out on this one. Overall, I would give this film a solid 4 out of 5 stars. If you haven't seen it, definitely go out and pick it up. Coming in at number 4 on this list, I have Antichrist from 2009, starring the legend Willem Dafoe. So the plot here is that you have a grieving couple who just lost their infant son and have decided to retreat into a cabin in the woods to try to find some type of solace. They quickly face violence and terror at the hands of nature and ultimately of each other. So what lands Antichrist at number 4 on this list is a handful of scenes that I can't quite go into too much detail about in this video. If you know, you know. If you don't know, check it out. We've also got kind of the cabin fever element here, where 2 people are cooped up in the woods and they're both coming through a very traumatic event, and they eventually are going to turn on each other, and what comes of it is incredible. I can honestly say that after the credits rolled, I was pretty much in disbelief at what I just watched. If you're into movies that are a little bit more gruesome and visceral, definitely check it out. This one might be a little bit controversial, but coming in at number 3 on my list of the scariest horror films in my collection is Creep from 2009. So the plot here is that you have a videographer who responds to an online ad touting a $1,000 a day video gig. So the video gig is for a man who claims to have terminal cancer and would like to have a lasting video for his unborn child. The 2 elements that make this movie so scary, in my opinion, are the realism created via the dialogue between the 2 main characters, and also the overall concept here. We've moved into a day and age to where meeting a complete stranger online as a result of an ad, whether it be Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, is incredibly commonplace. This movie will make you question the intentions of the people that we meet online. I might get some flack for putting this movie this high up on my list of the top 5 scariest horror films in my collection, but if you're a fan of found footage horror movies, I think this is one of the best. Taking the number 2 spot on this list is the original Exorcist from 1973. It should go without saying, but if you're not familiar with the original Exorcist, the plot of this film is that you have a young girl who is experiencing the symptoms of some form of illness, and it's later determined that she is experiencing a full-blown possession. 2 priests are brought in order to perform the exorcism ritual. You're going to notice a theme here, but what makes this movie so scary are the practical effects that create the feeling of a true possession. Although this movie came out over 50 years ago, it still stands as one of the scariest films ever made. If you haven't seen this film, do you really like horror movies? And coming in at number 1 on the list of the top 5 scariest movies in my collection, warning, this is going to be an unpopular opinion, is Skinnamarink from 2022. This movie is told through the perspective of a small child who learns that his parents have gone missing. He then wanders throughout the family home without supervision as weird things start to happen. The intentions and deeper meanings of this film are left to the viewer, and there's a lot of speculation as to what the movie is actually about. What makes this movie so scary is the atmosphere of the home with which it takes place, and also how it was recorded to look like it was recorded by a VHS camcorder. Of course, you have jump scares throughout the film, but the key focus is the atmosphere and the fear of what's coming next. Above all else, this is the scariest movie in my collection because it's the only film on this list that I actually thought I couldn't finish. If you're a fan of more obscure horror films and ones that you have to interpret the true meaning, definitely check out Skinnamarink if you haven't already seen it. Those are the top 5 scariest movies in my collection and are the ones that I really have to psych myself up to be able to watch. Comment below what's the scariest movie that you own or the scariest movie that you've seen recently. If you made it to this point in the video, thanks so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to see all of my upcoming content. I'll see you on the next one.